I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to an order. My name is Tristan Miller, the Saucy Sleuth.
I'm Melissa Meli, the spy.
I'm Tyler Riley, Captain NACAB.
You
Tristan,
sound
I really thought.
so forlorn. Forlorn Michaels, is that anything?
Probably.
Huh?
Like, when he receives flowers at the office.
Very good.
Tristan, I don't know why I thought you were going to not do a voice this week. I thought,
That's
okay,
so crazy of
they're
you. That's
winding
so
up
weird.
to
That's
do a
weirder than
normal
Tristan's
one.
voice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very odd for you to not
Winding
believe in
up
my
to
talents.
winding up to do a normal one this week. No. I was wrong.
No, no,
I was wrong, and I
never.
can admit that.
That's very brave of you.
Thank you.
As per always, the show, hey, we got a Patreon. We got some clips up there, some new clips even that are coming out
Ooh.
soon. And then we also have a bunch of bonus episodes where we talk about Murder, She Wrote, maybe some other stuff. I don't even remember what's on there. But you can go to
Um,
patreon.com/ADCpod. Did we ever do?
isn't most of no, didn't we do one number one ladies detective agency and the rest was on Patreon?
No,
Or
we did
was
the whole
that
series.
was all okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Uh,
What about the WWE? No, we did release that eventually.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And what a mystery that was.
It was.
it was. Yes, I just sent Tristan a clip last night to to pop up on the Patreon.
Slightly
Nice.
terrified to ask what the subject of this clip is.
It's Andrew Garfield, right? I do my impression. You're like, who is that man? And I'm like,
Oh, okay. Fair.
It's a
and
cute
so on.
it's a cute little chunk of it's like an hour. No, it's a minute and 30 seconds or
I was gonna
something,
say,
but
excuse me.
no. We talked about Andrew Garfield for an hour. Do you believe it?
Yeah, I do
I
actually. I
could,
could.
because, I still have questions.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, it was a nice little self-contained clip. Seemed
Mm-hmm.
Patreon worthy,
Mm-hmm.
but
Okay.
nonsense in the context of the episode.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
do understand who he is in the context of the world to an extent, just
Okay.
for clarification.
Okay. Well, I believe you now.
To an extent.
To an
Sure.
extent, I
To
believe
an
you.
extent. He
Yeah.
was in the Jamie Foxx Spider-Man movie.
That's true. That's a really good
Yep.
way of putting it. Can I tell you, Jamie Foxx is really fun in that movie. That movie gets a lot of hate, but it's a fun movie, I feel.
It is.
Okay, so this
Yes, that's like an episode. No, that's going to take us far too long. It's going to take us far too long to get back. Let's keep moving.
okay. I trust you. I trust your judgment. How does this one start? It starts with
Oh,
someone
a
being a
woman
spy,
walking in a
right?
hallway. There's a woman.
Yes.
This is the way my notes are so good. Woman walking through hallway. Men playing game. Ominous music.
Yes, that's honestly that's correct. This one gal, now she's a gal, and so she's working as a secretary because she's a gal, and that's how you know. And this other gal, she's taking some stuff from an office, and the first gal tries to call this guy, he's this fella, and he's playing poker with his buddies, and he doesn't want to hear from her. And so he hangs up on her, and then she follows this other gal that's stolen some film from this army base we're in, and then they both get struck by a car, and that's the
Okay.
opening.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's very
The
Mean Girls. And so, like,
yes.
I laughed.
Yeah, the way they do get hit by the car is very
It's
startling.
it's comical. Like
It's
in like I'm sure at the time, but like having seen or known Mean Girls' existence.
The man, the boyfriend that is playing the poker at the time, his name
Colin?
is
Oh, sorry.
Lieutenant Colin Race. Exactly right. Um,
he is played by this great actor named Tom Burke. And
mhm.
he's been popping up a little bit, but he most recently was in Mad Max Furiosa, and he is so
Oh,
fucking good in that movie.
oh,
He's like the
great.
coolest guy you've
Yeah.
ever met in that movie. He's so good. That's all.
That both of those movies are on my list of things to watch.
Well,
I
I would
haven't seen
recommend
either of the Mad Maxes.
Furiosa. Well, I have
Okay.
news for you as well. There's 4 other ones besides those 2. Most of them
Well,
starring Mel Gibson as Max.
oh no, I don't want that. No, thank you.
No.
No, but then you're gonna
No,
miss
thank
Tina
you.
Turner in the Thunderdome.
Oh,
The
oh gosh, okay.
Thunderdome.
Because we
Well, I
don't
mean,
need enough. And I think we'd have to pay for the rest.
yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. So then we go to Poirot. He
Mhm.
is watching a murder mystery play.
Oh,
Okay.
wait.
Oh,
Okay.
Um,
Yes,
quick note about the opening.
please.
One of the women who was struck, the woman that is on the phone with Colin, her name is Fiona.
Yes.
She is the world's worst spy because she was so caught and looked so guilty upon being caught following that woman of whom she was also smashed with.
yeah. It's very
So
bad.
bad. So terrible. So pretty, but so bad at her job. Or
Oh, was she actually supposed to be a spy, or was she just trying to be?
well, not like a spy, but like she was obviously
Oh,
spying
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
trying to be like sly about it, and clearly was like, this is the first time you attempted to do
Yeah.
anything sneakily, I would imagine, because of how aghast and how shocked you were that while standing in the middle of the road,
Yeah.
someone sees you.
Yeah, me
It's
as a
true.
spy. I would be very enthusiastic and very obvious.
Your namesake.
I know. Ironically. Ironically, I don't think I'd be a good spy.
Oh, I love that.
Ay, ay, ay.
And then we have, do we have a credit? I don't know. But
Yeah, we
we
do. There's
Yeah,
we
a
that's
do.
yeah.
beautiful shot of
Mm,
the ocean, the what is it? The channel. And then
yeah.
the credits come up over. And there's this beautiful score that happens throughout. It's a little heavy-handed at times, in as much as like it's
Mm.
very present in the episode, shall we say. But it's a
You mean with the
beautiful.
chicken joints?
Yay, yay. But they do some tooling of the main Poirot theme, and that I really enjoyed as well.
Oh, do we mention the name of the episode? This is Agatha Christie's
Oh,
Poirot, Series 12, Episode 4, the series finale. Not this like series finale, but the finale of this particular series, Series 12,
right.
It's called The
entitled
Clocks.
Clocks.
The Clocks.
The
The
clocks. Yes,
Clocks.
you're right. We did not say what episode we were watching. Good, good. I'm glad.
Well, I mean, fair enough. I don't know if most people read the episode description.
Let
Duck.
us know in the
Yeah.
comments. Nobody ever does.
I know. It just makes me so sad.
It would be so nice if they did, though. So then we get Poirot in a theater watching a play, and it is a murder mystery play, and it is by our good friend Ariadne Oliver.
Who does not show up once in this episode, which was quite disappointing.
I know, I know.
They ran out of budget.
Yeah, they couldn't afford Zoe Wanamaker again.
Yeah, they
Um,
hired Jessica last episode and couldn't
yeah,
afford
exactly.
Jessica
her.
Chastain. You're right. That just fresh out of Juilliard student really cost them a
They
pretty penny.
knew what she'd become.
A literal
They
duchess.
invested in her future.
Yes.
Do you know that about Jessica Chastain? She's a duchess.
Oh, of
She
course
married
she
a
is.
duke.
Oh, I mean,
Uh,
fair.
I would, God bless.
yeah.
I was the Thane of Cawdor once.
What does
Mm.
that mean?
In front
Were
of
you king?
Melissa.
Were you king hereafter?
Herein.
Herein, okay. Yes. Poirot has figured out the murder in the play.
In the play.
In the play. And he is bored and rolling his eyes, and then we get a curtain down, and it's apparently intermission. It does feel like the play is over to me, but
Yeah, because like it
sure.
definitely felt like a parlor reveal on stage.
Well,
Yeah.
it is, but the reveal is that all the evidence that's been put up is a red herring. So it's the twist.
Oh, I thought only the last bit was a red herring. I didn't know the whole of it was.
I think the whole of it was, from my
Okay.
understanding.
All right.
The communism was a red herring.
True. But they're at the interval, Poirot, and then Colin shows up and he's like, "You gotta help me. You just got to, Mr. Poirot."
There's
He's
a hot
actually-
lady.
Oh my
She
goodness.
died. Oh, but then the other one didn't.
There's a new hot lady. Come
There's
on,
a new
Melissa.
hot lady. That's right. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to ruin your enjoyment of the play. I'll tell you after. And Poirot's like, my good friend Ariadne Oliver. She didn't
She's
write
trash.
this one good. Yeah.
Well said, not great.
Let's just hang out here and you can tell me all about whatever you need help with. It'll be so much more engaging for me.
And when Colin is, as he's starting to tell him what's going on, Poirot does this thing where he like steeples his fingers and he closes his eyes.
Yes.
And Colin's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Poirot." He listens. And as someone who will often close their eyes to hear better, relatable.
Yeah.
I love it.
I will sometimes wear sunglasses because I'm like, I need to concentrate. There's too much coming at me.
Colin is telling us the story of what has happened in like the last week or whatever.
Mhm.
And he has met this woman named Sheila, and she is a typist. She works for an agency. We see this little agency of all these
Cavendish
secretaries.
Secretarial Services.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And someone has specifically requested her, Sheila, and the job is for a Miss Pebmarsh. She's to go there exactly at this time, and if she's not there, she's supposed to go in and wait in the parlor. So, like, okay, that might happen. It's not totally surprising then when she goes to this address and does not find Miss Pebmarsh there. So she goes and she sits in the front room, and there are 5 clocks just hanging out in this room. 4 of them are set to a specific time, but it's not that time. They're set to 4:13, and she's supposed to be there at 3. And she's like, "Oh no, do I have the wrong time?" She looks at her watch. She's like, "No, it's just about 3. So why are all these clocks set to 4:13? So strange."
Hey, could you imagine if they were set to 4:20? Imagine how
Hey.
funny that would be. That'd be so fucking funny, dog. Could you
And then
imagine?
she pulls a joint out of her pocket and she blazes it as you're supposed to.
And then she goes home and nothing bad happens to her. The end.
The end. Good night, everybody.
So I rated this.
10 out of 10. Everyone should do it.
4 out of
Yes.
20, my guy.
Oh, fair, that's a fair point. You know,
Yeah.
really, that's on me.
So Miss Pebmarsh comes in and is like, "Hey, what you doing in my parlor, strange lady?" Sheila screams her head off and runs out the door and finds Colin and just absolutely collapses into his arms because he's passing by on the street. And she's like, "There is a dead body in there." And he's like, "Well, I will help you, strange, attractive woman that I've never met before. I will certainly help you." They go back into the house. Colin talks to Miss Pebmarsh, and she's like, "It seems that there's a dead body in my parlor behind the sofa. And that hysterical woman, if she comes back in, I'll make her a cup of tea."
Yeah, kindly remove this man from my home.
There's
Yeah.
a
If
really
you
good
would, please.
line that she says, because he goes, "Oh, you're not afraid?" And he goes, "Well, what I saw during the Great War, a dead body is not something you have to be afraid of." And I'm like, damn, good point,
It's a living
actually.
ones.
Yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
Sheila has such a reaction to the body. It felt so strange, yet not inauthentic, but still confusing to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that. It is a very large reaction, and she's just absolutely horrified and hysterical. I think, yeah. but
The
it
thing
is like,
is, how do any of us know how we would react to finding?
Exactly. Which is
Yeah.
like, it seems so like, I thought it was
mhm.
such bad acting, and then I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Right. No, exactly. And there's a lot made in the murder mysteries that I learn about. There's a lot made of people acting weird in response to, finding a body slash learning their loved one is dead slash in
Yeah.
a police
Yeah.
interrogation kind of deal. And it's like, well, how do you know? Famously, one of the reasons, the whole Amanda Knox case where she was eventually tried and convicted of a murder when she was studying abroad in Italy.
hmm
Part of the reason that they were suspicious of her was because she was like outside after the murder, like doing handstands. And they were like, she seems like really unaffected by this. She's out here doing handstands and like cartwheels and stuff. That's super weird. She eventually was exonerated and released because she absolutely did not do it. She's just weird. And like, so I it's one of those things where it's like, I don't
Yeah.
know, what are you gonna do after your roommate gets brutally murdered? Like maybe you
hmm
are gonna be doing cartwheels outside. Who knows?
Yeah. I think I have, maybe we've talked about this before. I think I know how I would react to seeing a body.
Mm.
And it would be, oh, this. It would just be like, and now I have to,
Yeah.
uh, another thing to do.
Now I have to solve a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have to get my story straight. Oh, God.
This is gonna be such an ordeal.
There you go, Volt. You're telling me I have to talk to a cop? Ugh.
Yeah,
Gross.
that's
Yeah.
the
Oh, oh, all
deal.
right.
Miss Pepmarsh, to her credit, yeah, seems to be pretty chill about the whole thing.
Mm. She's also blind. That's a big
She is,
thing about her, is that she
sh-
can't see anymore.
yeah, in
Allegedly.
fact,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Which is why when Sheila starts screaming, she's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And to be fair, the body is a man in, I would say, his mid-40s, stabbed in the chest several times.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting. No
Yeah.
one knows this man. His card in his bag or whatever says his name is R.H. Curry and he works for an insurance company.
Mhm.
Yeah, sadly not that one. Miss Pepmarsh says that she did not request Sheila's services because back at the secretarial agency, it was specifically requested that Sheila Webb come. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She
Let me see
also
this
She was
woman
says,
quite
away.
offended as she believes herself to be quite, well, not even believes to be. She is, by all accounts, extremely self-sufficient.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And she says she's only had one clock in her parlor, and it's a cuckoo clock, the cuckoo clock that
Yeah,
you heard.
which makes sense because that's the thing when they're like, "Oh, what's all these clocks then?" It's like, well, she can't see, she can't tell the time from unless they have sentimental value. Whereas a cuckoo clock makes perfect sense because you hear it.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think the whole thing is cuckoo.
Oh boy, did you
exactly.
see that movie Cuckoo?
No.
No.
It's good. It's a horror film starring Hunter Schafer.
Oh,
I'd recommend it. That's
okay.
all. Thought about Cuckoo.
Great. I love that.
hmm
We find out that Colin is MI6 and he was trying to locate this German mole, Annabelle Larkin, which is the woman that his fiance, girlfriend, whatever, Fiona had been trying to track. Then both of them were struck by a car. So he's
Yeah.
trying really hard to help solve this thing for Sheila because he couldn't do it for his Fiona. Yes.
It moves on so quickly.
I was gonna
I
say,
mean, right? Like, when did it happened like a week ago?
yeah,
His
man.
girlfriend died like a week ago, and now he's like, but this woman ran screaming out of a house into my arms.
I mean, I kind of get the sense with Fiona that they were starting to date, if that makes sense. I don't think it's as
He
serious.
throws the L around very loosely.
Yeah, no, you're right. I suppose. Then yeah, I think it's just weird that he moves on so quick. I think you both are right on both
Yeah,
accounts.
it's pretty jarring. But no accounting for closeness.
Yeah.
Like you never know how you're going to meet. I'm getting tired and I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna cut
You
that
never
out.
know when you might meet a baddie, is what Melissa's trying to say.
Yeah.
Have an open heart to meet just the right hoe, and love will find a way.
Thank you, Tristan. That's exactly what I was trying to say in those exact words.
You're welcome.
For
I
sure.
know you so well.
You do.
So Poirot hears all of this and he takes on the case.
Yes, he starts working with the police.
It's the polizia, who the guy who the police commissioner. I love this guy. This guy, his character is so fun. The actor is so good and does such a fun job. He is what is this guy's name? Phil Daniels. And I heard his voice and I said, that's an Aardman. I've heard that man's talk, and he is
Oh,
Fetcher in Chicken Run. And I was like, I knew it.
Okay.
And he looks exactly like the character he plays in Chicken Run. They did a really good job of sculpting his likeness. It's so funny.
that is funny.
Yeah.
We also learned that Miss Pebmarsh's house is close to where the incident happened.
Yes.
Where
Which is
with
why Colin was there.
yes, because he found there was a note in Fiona's hand that had like an M across the
A
number.
number and M and then like a crescent moon.
Exactly. Yes, Poirot starts working with the police. This guy, okay, so the inspector has this attitude of, I mean, I guess you can be here, but also I don't understand what in the heck you're doing. Like, he's not one of those folks that is like, no, I can handle this myself. He accepts Poirot's presence, but he's also just baffled by him.
Yeah.
And admittedly, Poirot in this episode is acting whack. If I was confronted by this little guy, this little egg boy, I would be like, what is this guy talking about? And I love this guy, Phil Daniels' characterization of this inspector, because he's not stupid, but
No.
he's talking like this. And so he sounds like a bit, not slow is the wrong word, but like I don't know. He's just like it's one of those perfect characterizations of smart and stupid at the same time, like Robert Downey
Mm.
Jr. in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang,
Oh,
where
he
he's
sounded normal to me.
fair enough. But it's just a really good performance. I don't know. I was just so charmed by him because he's like his whole like mantra regarding detecting is someone will have seen something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that is true, but when you say it like that, it sounds like something a child would say.
Yeah.
Someone's bound to say something.
So everybody in this episode, by the way, is also really worried about a second war with Germany.
Thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah, yeah. That's a whole thing. The inspector says that he already interviewed all the witnesses, but Poirot wants to interview them himself.
And one of the main reasons Poirot is on this case is because Colin is MI6.
Yes.
The team wants them to figure out what happened with like the film and the find the mole, and it's all related. And so his boss is like, I respect Poirot, you're all good. His boss is played by Jeffrey Palmer, who's a really fine British actor. You might have seen him in Doctor Who, or more importantly to me, a great sitcom starring him and Judi Dench called As Time Goes By.
Oh,
Now, As Time Goes By is such a sweet, sappy, funny show that I watched every night with my mom, and he is so good in that. He's a great
oh,
actor, and he also plays Eeyore in a version of Winnie the Pooh I listened to growing up. And so if you can
oh.
imagine his voice going, being just like, oh, what I can't remember a specific
Yeah,
thing
sounds like a
Eeyore
real
says.
Beor.
Oh, yours my
In
favorite. I
Just
love him.
I
No,
know.
yours my favorite as well.
In the same audio drama, Judi Dench plays Kanga and a narrator, and then Stephen
Hmm.
Fry plays Winnie the Pooh. It's so
Yes.
good. I
Yes.
cannot
Okay.
recommend it enough.
Yeah, no. I've heard that before. I have definitely heard Judy as Kanga. Um,
Doing perhaps the worst Australian accent I've ever heard in my life.
Or the best if you're trying to dunk on Australians.
True, and you know what? They can take it.
they can. So after the murders, one of the clocks has gone missing. One of the like new
Mhm.
clocks, not the cuckoo clock. The cuckoo clock always there.
Forget about it. Yeah.
So there's these four clocks. One of them is this little travel clock that says Rosemary on it. And that's the one that is oddly missing. So we're going through, we're interviewing all the neighbors. There's so many neighbors. Oh my goodness, so many neighbors. There
Yes.
is
We
the
start with the cat lady, right?
We sure do.
Hachi
And
machi
she
do we?
is something else. She says that Miss Pebmarsh kept to herself. Everyone says Miss Pebmarsh had kept to herself and had like a really, really structured schedule. But the one thing is, her and this other neighbor, what the heck's his name? I figure it out eventually. Mr. Arbut, Abbott, the other
Albert
neighbor.
Elementary.
Yeah.
What?
Let me
Mhm.
take a look here. Let
Oh,
me pull up the old.
Mabbit? That
Mabbit.
person?
Yeah, that guy. They had an
Hey, my
argument.
bad.
Yep. They had a bit of an argument a couple nights ago. She remembers which night it was based on like what was on the radio or something like that. And then she eventually says that it's like, oh no, it had to be this day because that is when the laundry truck comes or whatever it is. The neighbors are all wild. There is this couple. They're like a former writer and actress, the
Hmm.
Blands, and their life just seems to be going super swimmingly good. Everything is amazing. She does not have a Canadian accent, but she is Canadian and moved over here.
She lost it at the
Um,
drama school.
she lost it at the drama school, like we all do.
And he used to be something like a carpenter or something, and he's close to retirement now
Yeah. And they have
because
gotten this windfall of money that's an inheritance from one of her Canadian relatives. Then I wrote the worst man in the world who tells Poirot that Belgium won't last a week if it all goes belly up with the war.
which fair enough. He's not wrong, but it's not a nice thing to say.
But he also
Uh,
calls him something that begins with a W. That just feels like a slur. So,
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it
like
yeah,
a
it's
did.
really
definitely
old-timey one.
it's like a derogatory term to be sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's Mabbit or Marbit or
That
whatever the
is
heck.
Mabbott.
Yeah,
Mababutt, I
great,
believe.
thank you.
Mabbott.
Um,
My butt. Uh,
Yes. So we learned that
but
the dead guy, whose name we still don't know, the insurance company didn't exist. It was a fake name. Like, we do not know who this man is.
sorry to this man.
Poirot meets these two preteen girls.
Ugh.
Who fucking rule. They're so cool.
They're awful.
I love how divided we always are on children in media, Tyler. I'm like, these are the two coolest little punks I've ever met.
Oh,
They're
I'm precocious and like mildly unhelpful.
yeah. I love when kids are annoying. I think it's so funny.
I think it's a waste of time.
Fair enough. But they were like shooting cats with a slingshot or whatever. And they're like the two worst kids because their mother is now dead. And so they only have a nanny. And so they're acting up to try and get their father's attention or whatever, trying to deal with grief in a weird way. And they keep hurting the neighbor's cats.
And then Julie Andrews shows up. But
It's
moving on.
true.
If only. Poirot recruits them to do something for him, which
Will be
he
revealed
shouldn't.
later.
Yeah, children listening to this, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, adults don't need your help
Ever.
ever. You should not
Except for
help.
when it'll ask you for
But yeah, fortunately, Poirot's intentions are good, of course.
I'm trying to imagine a situation where I would need the help of a child.
Like if I'm like
No.
walking with like a sheet cake and I need someone to hold the door open.
Oh, okay. That is
Yeah, that's
acceptable.
fine. When I need a
Walking with 2
child.
baskets of fries and I need someone to hold open the door.
Most of these involve door opening.
Oh, it really got me.
I love it so much.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that would really facilitate a need of a child's
No,
assistance.
you
You
don't
know?
need a child to help you.
I don't need children either, honestly. They're
No,
far too, like, I don't need a dependent in this economy. Are you kidding me?
in this economy. Yes. So we
Well,
are
could be
back.
used as flotation devices in case of an emergency, perhaps.
That's very
God.
grim, I must say. That's
Took a turn. Took a turn.
Really,
Uh,
on this channel?
we
Um,
are back at the secretary company. What is
mhm.
Why can't I ever think of like
Cavendish.
no, yeah, but like what type of
M-
business is it?
Oh,
It's a kind of a temp agency, but only for secretaries. I don't know.
Well,
and
it's
possibly other things as we'll get to.
well, no,
Oh,
what this agency does, it's not secretaries, they're typists. They're mostly creating books. They're making of
okay. Yeah.
books, is mostly what they seem to be doing.
Oh, I thought that's
Which
just how
is
you describe people on dating apps these days, typists. But
ay, Hashimashi. But I do think, but the notion that you have to sit and read a book and then type what you're, I mean, this is your job mostly, Melissa, is to type things that people say.
Mhm.
But like the notion of looking over at a page of a book and then typing exactly what you see on the, I would rather be missing 3 of my toes and you guys can pick which ones. I just don't want to do that ever. I would
Let us
rather
know in the comments.
I would rather just not think about that. That gives me such a headache. It makes me want to throw up. Ah,
Yeah, I do typing from audio.
yes. Which that I could do. That sounds fine. But like looking at a book is someone, I guess that's something that might be helpful to understand my aversion is I have dyslexia. So if I read more than like 5 pages in a row, I get a headache.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it sucks.
that makes sense.
I hate it.
Yes. So we're at this secretarial company.
2 things you
Um,
need to know about me. I love when kids are misbehaved and I hate reading. I'm the coolest adult you're ever gonna meet. Ugh. And I know how to kickflip.
Tristan Miller asking for help at a playground near you.
Oh boy. I think if I broke my leg and I couldn't get to my phone, I would ask a kid for
Oh,
help to
okay.
like
I
go
was like, where are
phone
we going with
like a
this?
police person.
Yeah, that makes sense.
all
In
right.
case of, in case of emergency, break glass for child.
Okay. So we're at the secretarial company. I'm gonna keep calling it that. And Poirot and the inspector are there. The inspector is trying to ask very specific questions, and Poirot's like, "Hey, did you work for this author, Mr. Gregson?" And she's like, "Yeah, actually, I handle all of his stuff." And
This is Mrs. Martindale.
yeah,
His estate stuff, it should be noted.
all of his estate because he is now passed on. But yeah, she is like the person that handles all of Gregson's work. And the inspector does not understand why Poirot is asking. To be fair, neither do I, neither does the viewer. But,
Yeah.
Poirot seems to think it's very important. So Colin is getting over his girlfriend by asking Sheila Webb to hang out that night.
Oh.
Okay.
Messy.
How you get over is by getting under the next.
No, I've been
They
told
they
that,
like
and I've
go
never
to
listened.
they go to the beach and they like take a walk, and she talks about how she's the saddest woman in the world, and she's an orphan
Hot.
and she has nothing, and
Honestly, yeah.
and they hug.
Yeah, she
They
has a
hug.
very Black Dynamite backstory. If you know, you know.
It's true. Dynamite. Dynamite. I'll say this. It's so funny to watch British people on the beach because they'll be like, let's go to the beach and enjoy a stroll, and then they'll be tripping over rocks. It's like 40 degrees Fahrenheit. They're tripping over rocks. They'll be like, "Oh, how lovely." It's just something else, man.
Well, I mean, Tristan, you can kick rocks.
Yeah, I know. I can and I will. It's
Uh,
just so funny to me to be like, let's go to the beach. It's 60 degrees out. Will we go in the water? No. Will we look longingly out at the ocean?
You've never had
Yes.
like a nice
mhm.
cold walk on the beach? Well, you grew up in like the Midwest, I guess. So
I did all along one of our mini lakes in Minnesota. I'll say
They have
that.
the
well,
lakes
then you
there,
get
yeah.
it.
I do. But like a crag, it's just so craggy, you know? So many crags.
Gotta work on your ag while you out by the crag.
That's what they say.
That is what they say. That's what I've heard
Yeah.
Yeah.
just now.
So,
Let us know in the
mean
Ah, I'm gonna scream. I'm
Me-
gonna scream.
Meanwhile, Poirot and the inspector have gone to the local inn and the bar there to get a pint. And Poirot's like, "Hey, do you have a cocktail menu,
He's like,
please?"
what does he say? That's the finest something. Like he's like, that's the best you're gonna get here. Now Poirot, he's just so oblivious to. He's just so oblivious to Poirot like not being on board with this whole thing. It's so interesting.
Then you hear Poirot on the phone with a different hotel asking for a suite availability because he's not
true.
staying at this place tonight. It is not his speed. Seems like a fun place. I bet they have pretty good beer.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
I think something of note as well when he's making the reservation, he speaks a lot of French in this episode, which I really enjoy.
he does, yeah. I was wondering if you were going to mention that.
Yeah, I always like it when he speaks French because I'm like, it
I
doesn't
know.
make any sense that he's
Yeah.
speaking. I mean, it does. He's in England, but like, come on.
Well, he's speaking his language to himself.
I know, I like it. It's very
Yeah, it's
good.
great. I love it.
I know.
Sure.
I'm watching in America and we speak.
American.
Ugh.
Another set of the neighbors that we didn't talk much about this first go around are let me look up their names here. That would be the Waterhouses.
The Lake
And
Waterhouses.
yes, the Lake Waterhouses. And they are academics and didn't hear anything because they were doing academia at the back of their home. And they're a very odd couple. And they start speaking German with each other. Now, I'll say this. Guy Henry, he plays one of the members of the couple. And he is Governor Tarkin in Rogue One, which you will not recognize him because he has another man's face over his face. But he does a great performance. He does a great work as a performance capture character there. It was at this moment that I thought I had read this book because I seem to remember a very similar plot line from one of the short stories of hers
Oh,
or
interesting.
something. So maybe
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
it's possible. Like sometimes plot lines repeat. No
That's
shade.
true.
But like how
Mm.
many
In a
times
murder
have we covered
mystery?
insurance deaths at a
Yeah.
point? Or like people's inheritance or, 12 people on a train.
It is also a similar plot line in Real Deaths. Don't want to get an insurance policy taken out because then your spouse might kill you for the money. It's not good. Not a good idea.
Not great,
And that's why
must
I
say.
took one out for each of you instead. So your spouses don't have to worry.
Well, I appreciate that.
Perfect. Thank you. That's
I
very
will.
thoughtful.
Yes, it
And are you
is.
the Yes, I assume Tyler's the beneficiary of both of
Yeah,
these policies.
that
Don't
makes
think about
sense.
it.
Honestly, that's fine. If I go and you get a bunch of money, that's fine.
Yeah,
I
right?
don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind. It's not like I have a family, you know? Well, I mean, I have a family. I'm not married, is what I mean to say.
Sheila Webb gets a note delivered to her, and it says, "Remember 4:13,"
Plays
which
it.
was the time on the clocks.
I'll also say this. There's this character named her name isn't Sinead. She's played by this lovely Irish actor named Sinead. What's the character's
Yes.
name? Nora
Nora.
Brent. Who's just like a real yapper and a card and is just really fun. And they're all getting ready on this day when she receives the note for the inquest.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, Nora's doing this fun bit where she's like, what lipstick shade should I wear? Because I don't want to look suspicious, but I don't want to like not look nice and blah, 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 blah. She's fun. She's a very fun
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And she had broken her heel on the first day before Sheila found the body. That will be important later.
Yes, she broke her heel on the subway grate, not subway, but if it was in New York, it would have been a subway grate.
And her heel from her shoe, not her actual heel. She's
Oh,
not in a
yeah.
cast.
Her heel from her shoe. I've broken a heel on a shoe in New York City.
What did it do to you?
I know, right?
It's also like the start of the meet cute and The Wedding Planner, the 2001 romantic comedy.
It sure is.
It is.
Yes.
Isn't it?
It's a good one.
A heel broken cinematic universe, is that anything? Where you just like watch a bunch of those movies? Someone breaks a heel of a shoe. I want to do bespoke film festivals like that. Where it's like this one, someone breaks a heel of a shoe. This one, they're in a car for most of the time. This one, there's
wise janitor.
Wise janitor.
Mm-hmm.
This one, there's one of my favorite letterbox lists that I have is a movie where a song interrupts the whole ding dang thing. And
Amazing.
I have
one with like obviously regrettable cameos, starting with Al Pacino and Jack and Jill.
Here's the thing about that movie. He's not a cameo. He's a character.
I know. I've seen the film, but
I have never seen the film.
Oh,
I do.
okay. I have seen the film.
All I know is what's my name?
Dunkachino.
It's a whole new game.
Dunkachino.
You want crispy because I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate Ben. Attica Uwe Latte Light. This whole trial is out of sight. And so on.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen what we're referencing, right, Melissa?
No, absolutely not.
Oh God. One of these things where it's like you've noticed both for so long. How have you managed to escape?
I don't know. I've still never seen a Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh,
that's interesting. Nor
that
have
needs
I.
to happen.
Yeah.
What are we doing, y'all?
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's so many of these
covering Agatha Christie when we could be covering family.
About family. What is it? I live 1 mile at a time. I really genuinely enjoy Vin Diesel. I think he's a fun performer. Do you see that movie he made that was based off of his D&D character?
No.
Fucking rules. He's like a vampire
you have
hunter.
to know that I have not.
He's like a vampire hunter. Elijah Wood's there as well. It's fucking sick, dude. He taught Dame Judi Dench, who's coming up a lot in this episode, how to play D&D on the set of Chronicles of Riddick.
Diesel taught Judi Dench how to play D&D?
Who now like DMs for her grandkids. Yeah,
God,
or
that's
did.
good.
Yeah,
That's
he's
the
like an
best.
interesting guy, but has a lot of cultural baggage, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Vin Diesel taught Judi Dench how to play D&D. I just have to hold on to that bit of information.
It's once used the D20, and if you roll it good, you get a success, and if you roll it, it's a lower number. It's a failure.
That's amazing.
So that's how that works. That's my Vin Diesel. It's not very good.
Not the worst I've heard.
No, it's not very good, but it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Fair to Midland, as they say.
So they go to this inquest. And at this inquest, they're basically, what they're doing is they're just like, here's what evidence is happening in this case.
Yes.
That's it. So we hear a bunch of things regurgitated, and one of the things is Miss Martindale is like, okay, things we already know, essentially.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Miss Martindale says, we got a call requesting Sheila Webb go to this address for Miss Pepmarsh, etc., etc. Lots of information. Sheila says what she saw. And we do also find out that the dead man was drugged before he was stabbed, which
Yeah,
I believe is new information.
it is new information in diegetically, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Mrs. Bland, one of the neighbors, comes in and hangs out with Sheila for a minute, like, if you need anything, let us know. If you want to come over for a cup of tea or something, let us know. So that's interesting. And then Nora starts saying that couldn't possibly be true, what she said. She doesn't specify
Yes.
who she is,
Mhm.
but she starts talking about, nope, that can't be true. That can't be true. She is lying.
And she tries to get the constable's attention, and he brushes her off in a really annoying
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Nor do I.
After that, they're back at the police station, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I
And the
believe,
inspector has like this 3 corkboard system, which I quite like. He's like,
mm,
Poirot, you got your thing going on. I got mine. Mine's a bunch of corkboards. Got all my
yeah.
stuff organized, nice and nice. Don't know what you're doing at all. You scare me. You're weird, and I don't like it. But at this point, Sheila is the number one suspect still.
Yeah. The inspector just thinks it has to be Sheila. She was right there. She set up the whole call. She thinks that he thinks that it's something to do with her. We have someone over at I think it's Mr. Bland, who is at the station, and he's trying to tell them
Mm-hmm.
he recognized the man and knew that it was clear that he knew Sheila Webb.
Yes, it is Mr. Bland who saw in the hallway. It's Mr. Bland saw Sheila Webb with the now deceased coming out of a hotel down the stairs, is what he alleges.
Yeah.
Remember bananas and pajamas coming down the stairs? Sorry, I just said down the stairs, and then I thought about
Yeah.
bananas and pajamas. Oh,
I do remember that.
take me
Oh,
back.
yeah.
When that was the most annoying thing going on.
Right? Right.
Take me back.
So Nora is calling the station, trying
Bring,
to tell
bring.
them, listen, what she said couldn't possibly be true. She has to be lying. They're like, tell her I'll call her back later. Tell her I'll call her back later.
At this point, they changed her name to Ignora.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
I'm yawning, but that is funny. She caught me in a bad moment when I couldn't laugh. That was good.
And the next thing we know, we find poor Nora dead in the phone box.
That the phone, awful bit of business, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure
Miss
a lot
Martin.
of death in this.
Yeah.
Especially, we're just at 2 bodies. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. There's
We're at
two.
2 bodies.
2 bodies.
Well, and
Two
also,
bodies deep.
but also, we
No,
had forgotten
yeah.
the ones at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
2
There's
bodies. Oh, yeah.
four.
Okay.
So,
Four bodies
Yeah. So,
deep.
yeah.
Mhm. There is kind of a
Ooh.
lot.
We'd
So,
love to see it.
You love a 4-body mystery, you know?
yeah, exactly. Miss Martindale is saying that Sheila Webb had a regular client at the Castle Hotel whose name is Purdy. And she says that he would buy her expensive gifts. And basically, the insinuation is that they are not just typing, if you know what I mean.
If we didn't.
Yeah.
Visit our Patreon.
Yeah, which, she has like a nice wristwatch or something like that.
Yeah,
And
silver rich watch, which she
that she
couldn't
couldn't
possibly have
possibly
afforded.
afford. What do you think of this gal's performance? The boss lady.
Martindale,
Yeah.
played not by USA actress Margot Martindale, but just
Exactly.
Margot Martindale used to be a private detective.
That doesn't surprise me in the
With
slightest.
who got Jason Alexander got her that job. They were both
Hmm.
private detectives in New York putting themselves through like auditioning, which is
Oh my God.
crazy to think about, but is
Why isn't that a
true.
series starring both
It
Jason
sh
Alexander and
it
Margot
should be.
Would watch. Would watch.
Would watch. Leslie Sharp is the Magnetic Zeros is this lady, Leslie Sharp, who is apparently in the Full Monty as well, which is that's
Oh,
fun.
hey. That is fun.
And
Like she
Help,
looked terribly
none.
familiar, but I couldn't place,
Help.
and I didn't bother looking up the actress either.
Yeah, there's a bunch of folks in this that seemed familiar in one way or another.
It's a lot of
Um,
familiar faces, a lot of friendly faces, which I really enjoyed.
the cat lady, her
Meow.
voice sounded
Mm-hmm.
super familiar, but not her
Ah,
face.
yes.
Copenhagen's voices sounded familiar, but couldn't place the
Copenhagen the
cat's
cat?
body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in Andor. That's fun. The cat lady
Oh,
In Andor?
in Andor.
Huh.
huh.
Wallander as well. Miss Pettigrew lives for a day. A
Okay. I've seen that
fantastic
film.
film. Phenomenal movie. Bunch of stuff.
Poirot then is asking Miss Martindale again about Gregson and if Sheila or Nora ever worked on anything that had to do with the Gregson estate. And this inspector is like, "What are you on about this again for, Poirot? Like, why do
I
we care
don't
about
bloody
this?"
understand you. Talking
Yeah.
about murder mysteries. He says, would you stop thinking about the fictional cases and work on the one in front of you? You know, fair play.
hmm It is pretty confusing. So Colin's getting some pressure back at MI6 from his boss about we
Jeffrey?
Being
gotta,
as loose-lipped as he is about his job.
right.
Good grief.
A lot of sunk ships,
You'd
yeah,
think.
to be sure.
Because they're looking into whether the veracity of Mr. Marbot and his extensive travels, and also the inheritance that the Blands have coming in from Canada.
Hmm.
And
They're
then
looking to make sure that's all above board.
also the water houses as well they're looking into.
That's right. Yes. And
Um
then after that scene where he's getting all this pressure, Colin has
mhm.
a daydream apparition of
Yeah.
his
Oh
dead
my God.
girlfriend.
I want to, before we get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about that moment with Jeffrey Palmer because Jeffrey's so good at playing warm and then also very stern. And in that moment where he turns to him and he goes, "You have 1 week. Do you understand?" It's so scary to me.
Yeah.
I was like, "Holy crap, this guy!" Ugh, frightening. But yeah, then he hallucinates his dead girlfriend and has a conversation with her. Normal stuff.
I'm gonna hold my tongue for this section and just speak about it at the end.
Okay.
Okay, great. Love
Sick.
that.
Mhm.
So we learned that Miss Pepmarsh's sons, her two sons, died in the war.
The Great War.
And yes, at this point, there has only been the one war.
It's true. Two little side tangents. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But one, have you seen that Kunk on Earth clip where she goes, "Why did they only call it the World War One if they didn't know if there was going to be a World War Two?" It's
Mhm.
very good. And the other thing is there's an interview clip again with Dame Judi Dench. And she goes, "Well, we had this dog at the war." And he goes, "Which war?" And she goes, "Which war? The Second World War." He goes, "No, no, no." And she's like, "I'm not that old. Get out." And she's like, "No, no, no. I thought you might have meant Vietnam or something." And he goes, "Oh, well, that's all right then." It's just very funny. She's very charming. I love her.
So we're still trying to identify this dead man. Oh, they try to figure out if he is Mr. Purdy, the guy
Hmm.
that
Sheila's shacking up with
Sheila
at the hotel.
exactly. So they're really looking into this. Poirot's with the inspector, and Poirot says it's not important who he is, but it's important who he is. And the inspector again is like, "What
He just is really
are you
good
saying?"
thing where Poirot says that. Poirot leaves. The inspector goes, "It's not important who he is. It's important who he is. It's not important who he is. It's important." Any one of you get bloody get that.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It's really a good performance. I love it so much.
It is found out that the clocks were all bought from the same place at the same time, except for that one little travel clock.
That says Rosemary.
And what you don't know is it's part of a matching set that also has parsley and thyme and sage.
Parsley, sage, rosemary at a time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In
Yep,
time.
exactly.
Get it? In time.
But that does remind me of another show that we did not cover, Rosemary in Time, about the gardeners who then go around investigating crimes.
Very
in
good.
their
Very
neighborhood.
fun. Yeah.
Oh,
I
adorable.
like that show a lot.
So Poirot has a moment where he listens to the clocks.
It's true.
He just sits there and listens to the clocks, and then does he go out and he finds out who Purdy is? The guy that she's seeing at the hotel?
Yeah, he does.
But he goes to the hotel and asks about him, right? Or am I?
That's the inspector does that, and then but Poirot kind of I think beats him to it because he goes, but of course 413 is not just the time, it's the room number.
That's right.
And
That's
then he
what it
goes to
is.
the hotel.
Okay, so it's Poirot goes to the hotel and goes to room 413. It's like, aha, so you must be Mr. Purdy.
And he's like, yeah, what do you want? I'm normal. I live in a hotel and I'm normal.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's all. Thank you.
Elaine Stritch lived in the Carlisle Hotel.
Oh yeah.
Good for her.
A
That
lot of
sounds
people live
nice.
in hotels, actually.
Hotels are really nice.
Did Dunstan ever check out? I don't think so.
He did not. Did I tell you I saw that film recently for the first time in theaters? I was at the Roxy.
Wait, you saw it in theaters?
I saw it in theaters. I saw a 16 millimeter print of Dunstan Checks In,
Oh
and
my
they did a
gosh.
Q&A with the director at it. I've
Oh wait,
never
I think
seen
you told us about this last recording.
last week. We
This
can't
is the
keep
second.
talking.
This is the second recording in a row that we've talked about Dustin Checks In.
We can't.
Oh.
Can't keep getting away with it. Can't. God, stop. Can't keep bringing
Oh,
up
man.
Dunstan Checks In.
This is why people come to our podcast.
For sure.
Oh, God.
Talk about Dunstan Checks In. And the great toupee they put on Jason Alexander.
Great to do some heavy lifting, but we'll take
it is. They put a rug on that mug.
We go to, I don't know, wherever Colin and Sheila are, and they're making out.
Oh, the tunnel?
Oh.
Are we there yet?
Yeah, they meet up at a tunnel and then they go to a hotel room, Colin's hotel room, and they're like about to pork. It's crazy. No response from me saying
nothing
pork.
needs...
That's fair.
No,
and
I
in
just
the scene,
I didn't want to.
you didn't want to. Okay,
interrogate
that's fair. They're about to slam clams, and so they're absolutely about to make whoopee. And what's crazy about it is she goes, do you want a drink first? And he goes, hey, why not? And she goes in the other room, pour drinks, and he rifles through her purse and he finds the clock that is missing and the murder weapon, which has not been able to be found.
Yeah.
And then he pulls his gun on her and takes her down to the station, which is correct.
Yeah.
But he's obviously upset about it. But it is correct.
I think he had to do all that, but like I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have to pull out his piece, but like he did have to take her to the police.
Yeah.
Maybe. Even so.
And piece meaning gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
After all the talk about
about the
pork,
so
sorry, let me just put this away.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to get that one. I meant to pull out my gun.
Don't worry, it's only blanks.
I thought you were just excited to see me.
Yeah, well,
well, I was.
I had a realization in this moment. If I'd figured out one of you had killed someone, my first reaction would be, well, what happened?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, okay, we gotta go to the place. I'd be like, no, I don't know what happened. You want to tell? You want to tell me? It's fine.
I'm too down for y'all, I guess.
No, I wouldn't be like, let's go to the. I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's just figure it out. Yeah.
I would want the least bit of information so that I would not be able to testify against you.
Oh. That's
See,
Do
I
y'all
understand.
watch what we
That's
watch?
very thoughtful.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. Yes, yes. But also, I'd be
Like, tell
like,
me after we get away with
but what
Yeah.
happened?
it.
What even was that?
You guys, it's so hard to cover up a murder.
Yeah, that's why I plan on never trying. If I
Yeah.
murder, I'm gonna just be like, I'm a
No.
murderer.
It would be so much trouble. It's so much trouble. People think that they are going to get away with murders all the time. They try to pull off these elaborate schemes and they can't do it because it's
Yeah.
really hard, especially now with all these forensics we have. Back in the day, before we knew about DNA and all that stuff, it was so easy.
Truly. You could really out pizza the Hut back in the day.
You really could.
It was so oh, big pardon. Pardonnez-moi, pizza the Hut. I have never heard of it before in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
Back at the station where they now have they're holding Sheila, we find out that the little travel clock was hers. Her first name is Rosemary. She goes by her middle name. And she saw it at the house and was like, what the fuck is this doing here? And so, like, it must have been stolen from me, so I'm going to steal it back. So she did. But yes, 413 is the room number of the hotel. So someone is taunting her, and it seems pretty clear to her, trying to frame her. They're like, no, we think that you did it. We're going to arrest you. So then, pretty soon after this, the dead man has been identified by his ex-wife. This lady
Right.
who cannot stand him at all. And she has, given up his name, and she's like, well, he has an identifying mark. There's a scar above his left ear. He got it 10 years ago, at least, when we were married, because he did a really incredibly bad job shaving. Just like,
I shave every day, sometimes twice a day. I've never gotten close to behind my ears.
behind my ear is the weirdest place I've ever heard of to have like a shaving accident.
Unless
I
you're like,
disagree.
unless you're shaving your head, was what I was about to say. Unless you're,
Okay.
of course, shaving your head.
Gotta
fully.
get back there.
You gotta get back
That's
there.
fair. Yes.
And this
Yes,
was
I have-
back in the day of like a single straight razor, I assume.
That's true. I have only had my head shaved the once, but uncommon for me.
Mm-hmm. Nothing about Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun should be an R&B ska band where it's ska and then Common comes out and sings a song with ska.
Do you
Tutankhamun?
know what type of music Common makes?
Nope. No idea.
Yeah.
What kind of music does he make?
Country.
Really?
No.
I was gonna say, pardon?
He is a rapper from Chicago.
I still stand by it. I think he could swing it.
Okay.
I love Tristan's word association. It's like just a constant game of word association.
Yeah.
There's a word that reminds them of something, and there we go.
Yep. It's call it having an attention problem. My problem isn't that I can't pay attention, it's that I pay attention too much. I don't have a bad memory. I remember too much and I get overwhelmed.
Here.
Fair.
But Tutankhamun, that's got legs. It's got legs, I think. Tyler, you don't seem convinced. But I think it's got legs.
Okay. Like, I'm willing to... let's circle back. In the comments.
In the comments.
That's fine.
In the comments.
The Tutankhamunents.
The Tutankhamunents.
Comments. Okay, sure. Yeah. Poirot goes back to the cat lady and asks about the argument again. She seems to think it was the girls. They were talking about the girls trampling over the flowers because they talked about something about like them swarming all about.
She also is like, Poirot, don't sit there. The cat's pissed all over it. Don't do it. Or do it if you want to, you freak. Like, this woman's nuts. She's so fun.
She is
Also,
fun.
Poirot is allergic to cats. Relatable cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he circles back with the preteens that he gave a project to.
Calling them preteens is so weird.
Okay, the
What?
adolescents that he happened upon.
The little girls? I mean, they're like 11.
The prepubescent children.
Preteens
You're not wrong. I just haven't thought about the term preteen.
Okay, they're not yet aged.
Absolutely cooked. I love it.
Okay.
It's also like that, like Poirot goes talks to these preteens, does really bring into your point. Adults don't need kids' help.
That's right.
It's weird what he's doing.
It is. So they found the coins and also a case containing a baton. What the heck is this implement that they found?
Oh, yes, that
Marbut's?
rod thing that goes inside the can, but it's inside of an umbrella. But there's film on the inside, no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did not know. I was hoping that one of you did.
Yes.
Yeah, I
because
was
did
quite
not
confused at first. It looks like a pair of knitting, like a single pair of knitting needles.
Yeah. It's like a magician's bag of tricks or Mary Poppins. It's like there's a thing and a thing and a thing. Poirot.
Mary Poppin Daddies? Is that anything?
Oh.
Think about Ska.
Thinking about Ska. Someone has to, I guess.
He can't stop touching that.
Oh.
Yeah. So Poirot he calls the inspector and is like, okay, you've got to come quick and you've got to release Sheila because I need her help. And he's like, okay, I guess. The willingness with which this inspector goes along with this is really, I thought he was going to get a little more pushback, but
well, he did.
Like,
he pushed her back a bit in this scene.
Less than I thought, though.
Okay. All right.
By the end of the conversation, he's like, yeah, all right, sure, why not, I guess.
Which fair. Sometimes you just need to let something play out.
Yes. So the thing that Annabelle Larkin, the spy had was what was found in the garden.
Film.
The film, yes, the film, and that's significant.
Yeah, I should say so. Yes, because it is in fact because there's some question as to whether or not these two murders are even actually related, and now it has become undeniably so that they are related. Also, in the meanwhile, they have arrested the Waterhouses and brought them to MI6 because they're like, "You are German. What the fuck?" And they're like,
"Am I sick of them?"
They're like, yeah, we're German. We changed our names because we're Jewish and we just didn't want to be bothered.
Yeah, we left our home because of anti-Semitism, and this is the third English town we've lived in. We just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fair enough. Fair point. And then all of them feel really shitty and bad about assuming things about people and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly. So Poirot reveals that he suspects that Pebmarsh and Marbut, when they were arguing, were actually talking about the police are swarming about, not about the girls. And
What about Poirot talking to?
Yeah. Poirot goes to Miss Pebmarsh and he says that he's looking for a photo that Nora may have come and taken with a gentleman. And so
she works at a photo lab / photography studio.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And has for several years.
Yes. So she says that he can probably find it here since he doesn't know the gentleman's name. Start at the beginning, a pretty good place to start. So he says he finds the photo that he was looking for. Doesn't show it to her because she
can't see it, even if he did.
Yep. But he doesn't show it to the audience either.
Yeah.
So we
do
don't
not
see
know what it is.
We do not see what the photo is.
And Colin and crew stroll in, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
they
she's being
do.
arrested for suspicion, not suspicion, because that's not a thing.
Sure.
Suspicion of high treason.
And then they also grab my butt and they're like, "Hey, where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just off to France for a couple of days because I have a business." So they're like, he's like, "Why?" It's like, "Well, this is routine. We're gonna have to search your things." He's like, "Fine, I guess." And then they find more film and a shaving kit.
And the
Uh
brush.
Good place to hide
yeah,
it.
Yeah, I was quite impressed.
Mhm.
my autocorrect on my phone made his name Man Butt. So that's fun.
Good, good.
So they're
Oh,
both
like that
detained.
one MSNBC. We don't have time. We don't have time.
So Pep Marsh and Mabbott have been passing information to Hitler.
And we all hate that guy.
Yeah, not a fan.
And
Not
he's the
fans.
worst. I don't know if you know this. He
Just
sucks.
just to be clear, do not like Hitler or fascism. Bold stance taken right
Yeah.
here. Pep Marsh is doing it because she just does not want a war. So she's trying to keep England weak by
So they
passing along secrets so that they aren't equipped to go into a war where more children can die, which is a heck of a way to go about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, they're like, England's not strong. Like, it'll be just a terrible conflict. It's just better to like roll over, essentially. And we're trying to keep England safe by like, if Hitler goes and tries to take over the world, we should just let it happen.
Yeah,
Just
it's
cool,
it's
dude.
pretty scary.
Yeah.
I'm staring meaningfully at you in case you couldn't feel that in my voice. You, the people listening to this. It's pretty scary, as it
Not
turns out.
good.
Who
Not
you
good.
mean the people?
Ay, ay, ay.
I love it. We're all doing great. They work out that the dead man's wife, in quotes, seems to be lying about who he is. And then she ends up
Yeah,
murdered.
Mm.
really hard to tell that she was telling a fib. Really
Mhm.
difficult.
Yeah, exactly. She turns up murdered, and at this point, Poirot gathers everybody for a secretarial. Is that where they are? Where are they?
Yeah,
Are they
they're
at
at
the
the
police?
office.
They're at the office. Okay.
Yeah. That's 5 bodies. It's a 5 body murder.
It's a 5 body episode.
Crazy.
So we are getting this reveal now. The she that Nora was referring to, like she can't be telling the truth, was Miss Martindale, her boss. Because Nora had broken that heel on the grate and had to come back from lunch early when she allegedly got the call, and that call did not come in. She never heard it. So essentially, what they have put together is that the Blands, in fact, masterminded this whole thing. So Mrs. Bland was indeed getting this inheritance from Canada, but the only problem was the woman that we've been talking to is not the original Mrs. Bland who was from Canada and getting an inheritance from her relative. This
Mhm.
is the second Mrs. Bland. The first Mrs. Bland is dead. So she's been basically assuming the first Mrs. Bland's identity in order to keep receiving this inheritance for her and her husband. And at some point, Mrs. Bland's brother comes over and wants to visit. He doesn't know, so they're going to have to kill him.
Mhm.
It's not who he is, but it's who he is. He is the brother that would expose this whole thing. The person that has been helping them is, in fact, her sister, who is Miss Martindale. And we find out that was actually the photo that Poirot was looking for. They find that photo that confirms that she is the sister, and she was like, "Don't worry, I've got the perfect way to cover this all up. I'm just going to use one of the plots from one of these novels that I've helped type."
I want to say something about this scene. One, it's really well acted from the gal that plays new Mrs. Bland. I think she does a
Yeah.
really good job of like, the jig is up. I'm just gonna get this out. I can't stand it. I can't stand any of this.
Yeah.
And then also a horrific thing happens
Yeah.
where Mr. Bland fully like slaps her in a way that is like just awful to see.
Yeah.
And Suchet's reaction to that is so good and genuine, where he's just like, I can't even deal with that right now. But what's fucked up about that situation is then they just sit next to each other like it didn't happen. It's crazy.
Yeah, truly.
And it should be noted that the Blands this whole time have been like very peppy, shall we say.
Oh, yeah.
They've been like really overselling how much they're happy and good and everything's nice. And then there's a scene before the inquest where he does like yell at her in a way that's like frightening
Because she
Yes,
doesn't want to
yes.
go.
because she doesn't want to go. And he's like, "Where's my honey? Where's my super suit?" He's like, "Where's my tie or whatever?" And he yells about her about that. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's all very upsetting.
We do find out that after the inquest, when Mrs. Bland went up to Sheila, that she planted the murder weapon in her bag.
Yes. Miss Martindale had stolen the clock of Sheila's to plant at the place as well.
Exactly. Miss Martindale decided that she had the perfect person to pin this all on.
That hot little
This,
tart from the other.
yeah, that nobody would miss. She doesn't have any family. They get arrested. Sheila has been cleared. Sheila goes off. Poirot says to Colin, "You know you should go after her, yes?" And he does. They get together and they're
They smooch on
happy
the
and in
beach.
love. They smooch on the beach. And that
The
is the end of
cold,
the
cold
episode.
rocks.
And then the post credit, she dies, and he meets yet another mysterious dark-haired woman.
Probably, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, Colin.
I I'd love to hear from Melissa first.
Okay. Okay. I think that I will give this episode
Tyler, how many do we do? How many mustaches?
I was gonna ask you, as a
Real,
matter of
real quick, how many do we do? Just wondering.
you know.
You
We've been
know,
doing this for
I know,
how long?
well, I just want you to know that I know, of course. But like, how many do we do?
You got it.
I think I'm gonna give it a 3. Yeah.
Out of
5 out of 5 out of
thank
5.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems about right for where I am with this one. It was a little confusing, but fine. Some good acting, some interesting stuff happening. The Nora character, amazing. Cat Lady, hilarious. Some really good Poirot moments in there. Not my favorite mystery, but it was an enjoyable watch. I wish I wish it were a little less convoluted, but it is what it is.
Tyler, what do you think?
I agree with Melissa. I think just like a solid 3, mostly for the performances. The story was very convoluted. I was really excited about the clocks until I wasn't.
Yes.
When that became apparent, like I was like, oh, this is going nowhere. And since Melissa brought up protein, Poirot was very protein in this episode in particular, which was,
Boo.
which was quite upsetting to me.
I
Oh, that dream sequence. Oh,
yeah.
that really felt to me, and I defy anyone to prove me wrong about this. We need to fill time. We have this much more to shoot to like hit our minute. Like, we got to do something. And that was it.
That's a fair point, yeah.
Oh, also, if someone was taunting me like they taunted Sheila, I'd move.
Yeah.
Like the clock thing, like someone, like I'm in a stranger's house and I see my clock, I'm leaving. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like it was like the choices she was making to me, absolutely wild throughout. But like again, I don't know unless I was put in that situation. But like I feel I'd move. Mystery
Yeah.
over.
That just to add real quick, because you talked about how being excited about the clocks until you weren't.
Mhm.
Yes, I was like, oh man, look at these four like what the heck is this? And then it
I felt
is
like a different
not.
person like set a clock, and I was like, oh, she done messed up
Yeah.
now. The past has come back to haunt her.
Yeah, and then
Hmm.
it really isn't that much, is it? And it's the
No.
title of the episode. It's so weird. But yeah, no, that was a really good point.
I feel like I must have engaged with this somehow before, or I'm a genius
Oh, okay. Yes.
because I did figure it out pretty early on.
Wow.
And I'm like, maybe it's because it's hitting all on purpose the tropes of murder mysteries, right? Because it's based off of a fictional murder mystery. Like, it's this really sort of Ouroboros, eating itself situation. But I was like, well, clearly the body was dead before it was in there. Like, you don't just find a body like that. I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff. Because also, like, in the beginning, during the play, they are like, it's all a red herring. I'm like, okay, so in this episode of Poirot, that is going to be a big part of it, which is annoying
Hmm.
in general. I would say, though, I'm giving this a 4.75 out of 5.
Whoa.
Yeah, it is something that I would say if you're interested on knowing what Poirot is like as general in a series, this is a very like example episode of this is a standard episode of Poirot. It felt like we were going back to the stuff from like the early 90s and stuff. It felt like a throwback to me. And maybe it's because I was just so entranced by Phil Daniels as the inspector. I loved that performance so much. Because he also, like, at the end of the case, shakes Poirot's hand. It's like, would love to see you again, mate. Like, he's got this, like, real, like, chipper attitude that I really enjoyed. Um,
Yeah, that was cute.
yeah. He really elevated the whole thing for me. I don't know. I just really had a great time watching it. I don't really know what more to say other than I liked it. I figured it out while it was happening. It felt familiar and yet not. All the acting I really enjoyed. I think Poirot has a lot of really good. It's like peak Poirot, where it's
It
like
is.
he's
That's true.
doing like the closing the eyes, he's talking in French, he's doing all this stuff, and then you get the addition of like an inspector who is confused by him but not angry about it. So
Mm-hmm.
you get
Mm-hmm.
to, because part of the joy of reading the books and engaging with the character is like he is weird. He is like a weird guy, but he's
Yeah.
also smart as hell. And so getting an audience surrogate that is like not angry,
Yeah.
I guess it's what comes down to is even though Colin's kind of acting as the Hastings of this episode,
Yeah.
the inspector feels almost more like he's in that role where he's like agreeing with Poirot to a certain extent.
Mm.
And it was also the cast is just so familiar and just so nice to see all these people that I'd seen before. I don't know. I think it's just like a very like solid episode. I can't imagine
Mhm.
I'm wanting more from it other than fewer preteen girls. Get them out of there. Unless the slingshot, which is so dope. I think that I know we've talked about this before, but like part Simpson rules. I'm sorry, Tyler.
Okay.
Don't have a cow, man.
Again, like I don't know that show, so whatever.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Do you
Oh,
really just like
oh,
not know The Simpsons at all?
Like I know, like I saw like the film, I think,
the
in
film's
theaters,
great.
Okay.
but like that's like
Hmm.
in like know of it like tangentially. Like Bret Hart did a thing at a point, I
Yeah.
know. The say the
The
line
Sim
meme I'm familiar with.
The Simpsons murder mystery episode. Let's see. Can I get Tyler to watch Murder She Boat, which
Oh, I don't do
is
boat mysteries.
Bart is blamed for a crime while the Simpsons are on a cruise. Lisa investigates when Bart claims to be innocent.
Either a plane or a
Mm.
train.
No boats.
No boats, not after
No
Death on the
open water
Nile.
mysteries. No, thank
Oh,
you.
Ugh.
no open water. Murder She Boat is a good title, though.
That is. That's really
It's
good.
pretty great.
There's
It's no
also
murder she
Okay.
wrote, but
Who Shot Mr. Burns. Anyway, with that, unless there's any other business, I now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to a close.
Seconded.
Gavel sound.
I guess it's a good episode. Remember that was the voice I did at the beginning?
Oh, no, I
yes.
didn't remember that. And now it all comes full circle. That voice. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.